What is happening right now? Ah! Oh my god, don't do this to me! Run! Ah! Stop, run! Oh my god, don't lose breath now, son. Hurry up. Run. Should I get this thermostat? Oh my god. Am I about to die from doing that? Run! Run! Oh my god, get in the house. What the fuck is happening right now? Oh.
Hey, Diva.
Hi. Just so you know. Oh. And I still killed you, bitch! Oh my god, you really thought you was gonna have me with that one, honey babushka. Oh. What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh! Nope. Oh, get up, get up, get up, get up. Open. Oh. Oh.
Tell me one more lie and I'll shoot you in the face.
Where did you get that gun? Where did we get that gun? Oh my fucking god. I hate you so much right now. Oh my god, that scared the shit out of me. Hi, Evil King, how are you? I will be getting you back for this. Holy shit, man. Ready? Oh shit! Ah! No, I'm stuck in a corner. No, get me out of this. I'm Let's not do that again. Oh shit. Run. No. Oh. How did we even win? The people outside must have won for us because I was fighting for my life. Or fix the color. Oh yeah. What? Oh my god. Thank you, Chew Pure Scion. That scared the shit out of me. You are my first follower while I'm on stream. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I literally don't even know what to say right now because I was not expecting that. Thank you. I really appreciate it. No. Oh. Yeah, I'm mad. Bitch! Nah! Electo! god. Oh my god, I can't see because of this tree. Oh. Now, if this was Resident Evil 4 and that first time you jump out that house, I'd be dead. I'd already be needing that green herb. Okay.
The darkness that was pursuing me was growing,
Oh.
and it was taking
Oh.
everything in its path.
Okay. Okay.
Emotional damage.
Find a car from there.
Okay. Okay. I'll see many times I. Oh, give me more supplies though. Oh my god. Something else is still gonna jump at me.
Everything I saw was from me. Hello.
Oh my god, I fucking hate so much right now. Okay. I wish there was some sort of map or compass. Like, literally, I have no idea where I'm going. Did I get stuff from breaking up anything? Bitch. Bitch! Yo. Y'all really be trying me. I'm pretty good at this game. And I just fucking... Bitch. Now. Ah! Damn! Duck, duck, goose, bitch. Oh, fuck my life. Hello, hello. Happy Juneteenth. There we go. Do not mind the way that my screen looks right now because everything is under construction right now. Literally everything. I hope everybody's doing great. Hope everybody's having a great Juneteenth. Hopefully you had it off. I kind of had it off. I had on call, which let me tell you, somebody will be hearing me complain about that shit tomorrow because I was on call and the other department that needs to be on call was not on call because there was ain't nobody doing shit over there. So why was I on call and nobody from that department was on call? You will be hearing from my lawyers. Well, anyway, I hope everybody's doing well other than that. I had a very, very long week, long day. I'm like literally, I'm so exhausted. I just played myself today and I should have just taken the whole day to rest and I played myself. So, I don't even remember when the last time I streamed was. I think it was the other day and then my stream crashed because of these games, which is why this is under construction right now. Because I am trying to figure out, I think it's Steam. And I think that they don't have a way to limit the FPS on games. So I had to find a way to try to limit the FPS in the games. And hopefully that will stop the crazy ass lag that is happening when I play a Steam game. Yeah, so I literally have been going down rabbit holes trying to figure this shit out. And I'm exhausted. Hopefully, I think I fixed it, but I wasn't willing to test it today and have another fucking messed up stream. So, kapush. So, I've been doing that. Sunday, I built a bunk bed. Yes, I got very, very butch. And I built a fucking bunk bed for my niece and my nephew at my sister's house. They're in love with it. I'm happy that they're in love with it, but my back really fucking hates me right now, my back and my neck. Because you're like screw driving and you're like Allen King shit and all fucking weird angles and shit, and my body's just not having it. And then today I went to bring something to a friend. And I brought it to them, and then I was just like, I really wanted to get some exercise in. So they were on the other side of a bridge. It was almost like 90 degrees today, and if it wasn't 90 degrees, it definitely felt like it was over 90 degrees. I walked back home over that bridge, which I have done many times before because I used to work with this friend. Usually during the summer, I used to walk to work and walk back home over this bridge. It's like a 45-minute walk, and I would be fine. But I don't know. Today it just hit me hard because I walked back home. Well, I didn't walk home. I walked back to my barber to get this lovely photo-esque haircut done. Ooh. And then, like a dumbass, I had Taco Bell. And I think all of the walking, because I walked like 5 miles in this heat, plus the Taco Bell kicked my ass. It was like I was at the beach all day. It was like I had fucking heat stroke. I'm exhausted. I still love this weather though. I'd rather be in a heat wave than snowing or any of that other cold shit that the seasons like to do. I just like the summer. I just want to be hot. I want to be clothes off. Anyway, so that's what I did. And hopefully this was all for nothing because I got this friend something that I think that they don't have. And they're going to open it on their stream. And if they do have it, I'm going to be so embarrassed. So there was that. I had to get the haircut today because my haircut place, I don't have a barber. I don't get my haircut every week like other streamers. Shady. And I don't have a barber. I don't do anything. I just go to this one place because it's cheap. It's literally $16. And in this economy, if you can find a haircut that fucking cheap, just do it. Because for me, I don't need anything crazy with my hair. It will grow back. You know, I'm only gonna have it for so much longer. So that scared the shit out of me. The way my bot scares the shit out of me every single time when that message should have already been up. Anyway. But my bot, so it's only $16. I feel like they do a good job. So in this economy, for me to pay $16 for a haircut when some people are paying $60, okay. And they're only open 9 to 6, and on weekdays. They're not open on weekends, and so this was like my day off, kind of. So I was like, okay, let me do it instead of leaving work early, pretending that I'm working to go get a haircut, or trying to do it on my lunch break when I'm over here trying to take a nap, because my lunch breaks are for my naps. Okay. Yes. So when I had to get the hair done and get the hair did and all that shit, because Pride is not this weekend, but the following weekend, and I need to get me a sugar daddy, some nookie, something needs to happen, because right now my love life is in the void. She doesn't exist. Hi, Taffy. The hair and the nails. I don't do mani-pedis. I haven't done a manicure in so long. I'm so like lazy about it, but that is a good idea to get that done. How are you doing today, Taffy? What are you up to today? So I did that. Then I had the Taco Bell, and then I came home and I just like collapsed like it was the end of days. So I'm exhausted. I'm good, sleepy. Sleepy day. I've been playing Apex. See, I was gonna play Apex today to start learning how to play Apex, but then I found a game on my PlayStation that I've been waiting to play, and today's actually the perfect day to play it. So I'm gonna actually play that instead, and I'll do another stream where I can learn how to play Apex. But I'm glad somebody got some sleep today. But I'm definitely gonna learn how to play Apex so I can play with some people. And then what else did I do? My dog has his appointment tomorrow to get his hair did as well because we're both gonna be looking good. We are getting into it is called, I want to say it right. The Tales of Kenzera, ZAU. I think it's like a platformer. Kind of like in the Metroid kind of style. Yeah, I think from what I remember about this game, because I like downloaded it when it first came out, it is a game made by a black developer who wanted to what is the word? What is the words I'm looking for? He wanted to basically showcase his grief process over losing his father. Hold on. He wanted to showcase his grief process over losing his father in a game format. So that's what he did. And the protagonist in the game is an African American character. So what's a better game to play on Juneteenth than that? So we're gonna be playing that. Also, what was the other thing that happened so my dog is getting a haircut tomorrow, so he can look good for Pride. So yes, because he also has another appointment on Monday for a consultation for his surgery. So I need him to be looking the cutest dog in that doctor's office. So lots of hairs getting dead. And then also when I came home today, I also so I live on the 8th floor of my building. So after all of that walking in this heat, I walked up the stairs to get to my apartment. 8 floors. Yes. I'm literally at this point, I was just trying to get, because the other day I ran too. Today I definitely have this thing of overdoing exercise when I like get back into it. But I had to force myself to run the other day because I had been in such, excuse me, such a depression. And it's like a different, at least to me, it's like a different depression. Usually I'll like go through like I feel like a wave of depression, not necessarily realize it until it's like at the end of it. But this time I feel like I've been aware of it the whole time, which is like very different. And so I'm like just trying to do exercise to try to get my body moving to try to get out of this like weird little funk. So I did walk up 8 flights of stairs. And usually I'm like, okay, but today I did it, right? I had my backpack, which had my bike helmet because I biked to my friend, but then I walked back home. But in my lobby was this. So I walked up the stairs with all of this. Hopefully I don't drop it right now when I pick it up. Wait, was it you that I was talking to about this, Taffy? I might have actually been talking to you about books. But all of these books were downstairs. And so I was like, I really want to read a book. I'm going to get into books. Why not pick up every fucking single one of these damn books? So I carried all of these books up 8 flights of stairs. Oh shit. And that hurts. Yeah. So what do we have? I got Anthony Horowitz, Raven's Gate, Book 1. I'm glad that they wrote Book 1 on it because I wouldn't know what order to read these books in. The Titan's Curse, Rick Riordan. Hopefully I'll be sleeping much better because of these books. The Sea of Monsters. I don't even know if I have enough space on my desk. The Lightning Thief. I have no idea what some of these books are about. Some of them look like fantasy. I'm gonna put this book back. The Scary States of America. She's a no. We already know what they are. They're red states. The Mark of Athena. Like, look at this. This is a nice book. Somebody just was getting rid of it. The Lost Hero. Another Rick Riordan book. So many Rick Riordan books. I guess somebody doesn't like them. The Last Olympian. I literally like... Oh, this tells you what it had. Tells you like the order to read it in, which I literally just got all these books except for this one. The Battle of the Labyrinth. I don't know where that... I gotta find that book now. Gotta go to my local library. Oh my god. I got a Matthew McConaughey. Is this an autobiography? I don't know what it is. Is it fake news? I don't know. Am I gonna read this? Probably not. These books are gonna fall over. Okay, we got Stormbreaker. Anthony Horowitz. Let's put this back on the floor. We got Necropolis. Nightrise. See, it has like all the books, so I can actually like read through a set of books, which is gonna be nice. And Evil Star. There we go. So anyway, that's what I got from downstairs from somebody who did not want these books, so now they're mine. So also part of the testing that we did, so that the reason why this looks like this is because I literally deleted all of my audio sources from OBS because I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was like trying to set up a scene, another scene, and I was like, the scene said computer audio, and then it said computer audio and just my camera, right? And there was no audio coming through, and I was like, what's wrong with us? So then I put in my stream deck because I was like, I don't remember why I decided to put the stream deck, but I was like, okay, let me put this in. And for some reason that audio was my computer audio, and I was like, that doesn't feel right. So I deleted all of my audio sources and re-added them in a different way so that now I can see them all separated and I know what the fuck is going on. Because it was, I don't know, it was bothering me. Like, I'm trying to learn and do different things when I'm not streaming. I'm trying to do more, trying to learn how to do recording. I'm trying to learn how to do some editing. Someone actually just gave me this really great idea, which I don't know why I didn't think of it. Her name is Mickey Ran. Go follow her if you're not following her. She gave me this great idea because I've been downloading my VODs because I unfortunately did not know that much about streaming when I first started. I basically didn't know shit. And I don't have any of the footage of my first streams. Like, I have a whole game that I streamed. There's no footage of it because I never saved the VODs. I didn't know that they only lasted for a limited amount of time. And so I like really regret not having any of that footage. Because if I wanted to make a like channel trailer, if I wanted to make a raid trailer at some point, I'm not gonna have that stuff. If I wanted to do like an anniversary of my when I started streaming or an anniversary of when I got affiliate, I literally don't have any of that footage. So I've been downloading my VODs, one to just edit them to put on my like regular YouTube, but also to edit them to get like clips and stuff for TikTok and like YouTube shorts and shit like that, right? But then they gave me this idea of having a channel, making a whole nother channel that's just your VODs. Because then they're saved on YouTube, like you're not going to lose them. And then they're also not taking space on your computer. So I just built that yesterday. And so I'm like working on getting them uploaded. I only got like 3 VODs uploaded. I still have to upload the last few VODs that I've had the last couple of days. Not the last couple of days, but the last couple of streams in there. And then that's what I'm going to be doing from now on, putting the VODs there. Because I've been putting them on my like regular. First of all, I have 3 YouTube channels. I have my regular one that I've had for years before I even started doing this. I have the one that is for this. And now I have the one for the VODs only. But the ones that was just for this also has the VODs. So I would like to get rid of the VODs. And just put them on the VOD channel. Yeah, so there's that. Trying to think of what else happened this week. I don't think anything else happened this week. I feel like I'm also possibly getting sick. Maybe. I don't know. I wake up congested every single day. I don't have allergies. I don't know what it is. I just wake up feeling like sick every fucking day. So you could imagine how that felt when COVID was a thing, because it was just like, do I have COVID or do I not have COVID? Make a decision, body. What are you doing? Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else happened this week, but I don't think anything else happened. Steamfest ended. I played some of the other demos. I also had trouble recording them because my screen was just lagging like fucking crazy. So hopefully I fixed it. I'm gonna, maybe when I get off of this, I'll check back and see how that is, to see if I can actually record a Steam video game. See if my solutions fixed it. I did some things to my camera. I don't know if you can necessarily see a difference. I actually changed the camera as well. This is not like I bought this like camera that everybody's like, oh, it's so good on Amazon. I was like, okay. And I don't know. I didn't really see a difference. So I went back to my Logitech 920. Okay, my business camera, because it does have a software that I can actually use to make changes to things like the saturation and like exposure and stuff like that. So those are all the things. The only thing I had, 2 things I have not figured out yet. I have to figure out the Xbox app for audio, because the way that I added the PS5 one, it didn't work with the Xbox app. When I put on a game, there was no sound showing through the mixer. And I had to figure out if I can use Apple Music, because when I add it, it does nothing. Kind of like my brain most days, but it does nothing. There is like no sound coming from it. And I like looked it up like very slightly yesterday, and it was like, it's like kind of like a known thing, but I literally don't want to. Well, not don't want to. I will not. Will not. Okay? Will not pay for Spotify. Not only because of the price increase, but also I'm not paying for 2 different music services. Like, there's no reason that the Apple Music shouldn't work. So, Same, you're not paying for Spotify either, Safi. I can't. I've literally had Apple Music for like over 5 years now. Like I have over 2,000 songs on there. Like for me to try to get all 2,000 of those songs over to Spotify, no. Also Spotify had the Joe Rogan podcast on it, and they didn't do shit. Exactly. To me, you know what I was thinking today? I like really feel like Spotify is like the Starbucks of music apps. First off, the app looks like Starbucks because of the green. But I just feel like it's overpriced, and like people just want it because of it has some sort of like branding to it. But I've never ever liked Spotify. I just like never liked it. The only thing I kind of like from them is some of the suggestions that they give me based on my music, because Apple Music needs to work on that, because they like Apple Music algorithm for music sometimes it's like, where are you coming up with this? I went like a month straight where it was only, and I don't know why, it was only suggesting drag queen music. And I was like, I didn't even add a new drag queen song. I don't even know if I was even listening to a song like that for it to be giving me all of these drag queen songs. And then like 2 weeks ago or a month ago, Shady played a song when they were reviewing some K-pop. This Apple called me a slur. Exactly. They're so bad with it. And then so Shady was reviewing a K-pop song, and I was like, oh, I really like the song. I added the one song, and literally my whole suggestion list was all K-pop songs. And I was like, okay, let's put some lube on this. Let's not do that. So they need to fix the algorithm, because I'm just like, there was like 2 months straight where I think that because I used to listen to like a meditation app to go to sleep, because it was one there specifically for sleep. And so then at some point I was like, oh, let me listen to this like calm music app, calm music playlist from Apple. And I listened to that to go to sleep, and it just suggested that type of music for me for like 2 months straight. And I was like, oh my God, it was so bad. Like I had to constantly go into the music and be like, suggest less like this. So anyway, I've had Apple for like over 5 years. I like the app for the most part. I don't like the changes that they recently made to it, because I'm just like, I don't know. It feels like there's less discovery now for me. I also don't like the changes that they made to the Twitch UI app, the mobile one, because this is not TikTok. I mean, it's kind of good because it gives a little bit more discoverability to people, but I need an easier way to see a list of the people that I'm following that are live at the moment that are going app, because that's what I want to see first. So they need to fix that. Okay, let's get into this scene, to this game. Let's see what it's like. So Taffy, I'm assuming you did not have to work today, which seems nice. So I'm glad you had the day off. Okay, where is it? Ugh, I still need to finish this Silent Hill game, and I'm just so stressed about it because I'm like stuck at this part where this demon thing is just chasing me, and I just don't have the mental courage, the bravery, the liquid courage to finish it. So, yeah. Okay, so we're playing Tales of Kenzera, ZAU. Wield the dance of the shaman, reclaim your father's spirits. I actually totally did not want to start a new game because I really need to get back and like finish one of the other games.
EA Originals.
Lower that a little bit. Okay. I don't know if I fixed this to do audio ducking, so Something else I gotta work on. English, United Kingdom, text language. Okay, we'll keep that. Speaker type. Okay. A very small percentage of individuals may experience epileptic seizures. Okay, there was no way I was gonna read that fast, honey boo boo. That should be up there until I click next, until I accept. Accessibility features. Progress text automatically. On. Yes, because I hate pressing a button and I always forget to. This update is ready to install. Honey boo boo. Okay, update it. Why would you not update while the system was on this whole time, honey babushka? What are you doing?
EA Originals.
Also, the character sounds like, I think I need to lower this a little bit more still. Okay. Character sounds like Black Panther. And that's a win. Press any buttons. Okay. Screen shake, camera sway. None of these things bother me, so we'll keep them on. Adjust the slider until the leftmost logo is visible. I think this is all good. I usually never change this. Performance quality, we'll keep that at performance. Oh, I'm already in love. Look at this artwork. Look at that. Trans colors in Pride Month on Juneteenth. This is what you call intersectionality. Okay, honey babushka. Yes. So work of fiction, names, characters, business, places, events have all been changed. Okay. Okay. We love a game that has a purple hue. In loving memory of those who touched our lives. Oh shoot, I didn't change a thing. Hold on 1 second. Damn, I forgot the name of the game. Hold on.
Every story begins at the end of another.
I almost forgot to change my which I knew was already a big possibility. Zuberi. Go inside. I'm gonna do the exact opposite of what you tell me. Okay, this definitely looks like Wakanda. Okay, look at this artwork. Okay, like the color accents.
I can't.
You can't what? Okay, mama. Speak to mama. Where is mama? Is she at the end of this room or is she in that other place? Oh, she's over here. Look at this artwork. It's beautiful.
Mama, I miss him, Ma. I miss him so much.
How is the audio?
I miss him too. Maybe if you go to see him, pay your respects.
No, I can't. I can't do that yet.
Zuberi,
Mama, I can't.
You don't hear the game?
your Baba,
How was
he left
that?
this for you. For the days after. When Baba found out he was sick. The look on his
Okay.
face. The anxiety. The fear.
Thank you,
The
Taffy.
anger. Even a little confusion. But he had this sudden drive to write. He started this book. I think he wanted to make sure he had a good story to tell his son.
What's it about?
I don't know. But maybe it is for you to find out. Take your time, Zuberi.
Definitely like the art style. I like the colors, and I like the character's design so far.
My story began at the end of a world I once knew.
Damn, this is gonna make me watch Wakanda Forever again. I could feel it.
The shaman's path is one of healing, one of guiding. Yet, how does a shaman perform his duties when he is the one in need of healing, of guiding? Baba, help me, Baba. I need you, Baba. Kalunga, God of death, hear my plea. Kalunga, God of death, come to me. Kalunga, God of death.
I wonder if the person that created this is doing the voice acting for this. Ooh.
Kalunga, God of death, guardian of the veil between the realm of the living and the dead. My name is ZAU, shaman of Amandla.
And why, ZAU, shaman of Amandla, have you called me to the realm of the living?
It is told that there are 3 great spirits who have denied you. And if a shaman can cross your veil, having shepherded these spirits with death in tow...
Great favor by death, true wealth bestowed. I know the tale. And tell me, Kijana, what wealth is it that you seek?
My Baba, a sickness plagued him. You have taken his soul, and I am here to reclaim it back. I seek my Baba's return in exchange for these spirits.
But those who fail...
Kalunga's grace shall know. I know what is at stake.
But do you truly? All I see before me is a boy. A desperate boy with a desperate plea.
I am a shaman. My father's son, wielding his masks, knowing his ways. I can do this, Kalunga. I know I can.
Words carry little weight against the strength of action. But you have spirit. This much is true. We go east. Perhaps there you may prove to me you are worthy of such a task.
I will show you my worthiness. Show you the grace of the moon.
Press R2 to talk to Kalunga.
You look at these statues with anguish, Nganga. What ails you?
When I was young, my Baba would bring me here, to Patakatifu. We would admire these statues with fear, awe. My Baba would tell me the tales, great tales, wondrous tales of the great spirits of this land. And every time we passed through these crossroads, I would look at them and wonder if I would ever be so lucky to be graced with their presence.
Now you look at them and are reminded of the reality and challenge that befalls you. This daunting task of facing the great spirits.
No. I am reminded of my Baba.
Okay, new codex entry. Amani, a bustling coastal city, is a cultural and geological foundation. Known as the beating drum at the center of the world, Amani is admired as a keystone of technology, innovation, and progression. It is here that Zuberi calls home. Okay. Amandla. That's where we are now, I think. The Great Plain lands of Amandla are the home of ZAU in the far south of Kenzera. Formerly the home of the Amandlans, they were a hardy and tough people, always seeking the pleasure and simplicity, placing spiritual connections above materialism or wealth. And Patakatifu, the sanctuary of memories and great tales, Patakatifu forms the old crossroads that connects the lands of Kenzera. Built in honor of the great spirits, many would visit the ancient pool to honor the past, reflect upon the present, and look forward to a hopeful future. Okay. So there's going to be 4 more places we need to discover. How do I earn his help?
You look at these statues with anguish, Nganga.
When I was
Okay.
young, we would admire these statues, and every time
Okay, we
Now you
already
look
went
at
through
them
this.
no,
Do I get to just choose a place? What is all the way over here?
I do not say this to mock you, ZAU, but this is not Easterly.
I know what I am doing.
Okay. Is this where I'm supposed to be going? Hold on. Let's go back for a second. Ooh. Because it looks like there's other pathways. Can I go? I can't walk up. Can I go up this way? Can I go this way? What is this way? Okay, so it looks like I could go either way. I guess we shouldn't go this way since I already probably went the furthest this way now. Area discovered, Wanderer's Pass. Okay, so I could only, this is definitely a 2D scroller. I can only go 2 ways. Oops. Make sure there's nothing underneath here. What else can I do? Okay, so boxes to shoot. What is this? I guess that's a shield. O is a dodge. Can't go in there just yet. Okay. Press O to dash through waterfalls. Okay. New codex entry. Dashing. Basic movements. Okay. This is our main character, ZAU. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Zuberi is his mom. No, I'm Zuberi. Who is ZAU? Is that who I am in this world? Mama and Kalunga is the god of death. Okay. Can I go up that way? Okay, I guess I cannot go up that way. Ooh, okay. Oh my god. I need to put a sound to that. Hi, Junie. Junie's always the first to get any of my channel redemptions for some reason. It's kind of scary. How you doing today, Junie? How was your stream today? I was in there lurking. Malicious and deadly spirits roam the lands of Kenzera. Oh yeah. Happy Juneteenth. I don't even know if that's something that I'm supposed to be saying, to be honest. Malicious and deadly spirits roam the lands of Kenzera. Use the power of the mask to defeat them. The Mask of the Moon. That's because I stay stalking redeems. You do. I think you're literally the person that has used the most of my redeems so far. The Mask of the Moon excels in both long-range attacks and crowd control techniques. Has power to perform a light attack. Oh, oh! I slammed that bitch. Oh, is there another one? Oh. Oh yeah. Oh, this feels really nice. I just hit him with a light attack. Why is it telling me to still hit enemies with light attacks? Ooh. I don't understand what is happening. Oh, let's not get hit by him. You can while also moving your favorite black stream. What? Oh wait, you can while also Venmoing your favorite black streamer. Listen, that's exactly why I'm playing this game. What is it? What is happening right now? What is happening right now? Oh, there we go. I had to aim. Oh, it wants me to aim. Oh, heavy attacks. Which one is heavy? Oh. Boom. Okay, I will definitely slap a bitch. What am I supposed to be doing? Defeat remaining enemies. Okay, you're gone, bitch. There we go. Okay. How was your day, Junie? How was stream?
I use the mask to channel my power. It is the mask of the moon. Baba taught me the ways. Graceful is the flow, a harmony soaked in virtuous intent. We should keep moving.
Your proficiency intrigues me, but yet it does not make you immortal, Kijana. You are injured.
Who hit me that I'm even injured?
I am fine.
A gazelle that limps will struggle to outrun the lion.
Maybe you are right. Fine. I will heal.
Very good. Just sweating my bust off. Oh, don't sweat it off. Don't sweat it off. That's why we come to the stream. I'm okay. I'm exhausted. I had a very long day. I went to bring something to Poppy Oddly. I know it's like it was such a hot day. Although I'm all for a heat wave. So I went to bring something to Poppy Oddly today, and then I decided to walk back home, which means walking over a bridge. So that was like a 45-minute walk over a bridge in this heat. Got my hair did. It's been a couple of months. I don't do it every week like Shady. But I definitely feel like I have like heat stroke right now. Like I've been at the beach all week. I love walking. I need to, whatchamacallit, I need to get in exercise where I can because I'm like super lazy about it. And also I feel like walking is good during the summer because I get to be out and actually enjoy the day, because otherwise I would just be a homebody, which is super bad. At least for me, because this is like my favorite season. Inflicting damage against enemies rewards ZAU with spirits. Press the up button to heal. Heal and consume spirits. ZAU can also find healing orbs in the world to restore health. Okay. Okay, there we go.
I have seen many spirits, but never so.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be hot all week.
You now walk with the presence of death by your side. And these spirits linger here, not ready to let go. You do them a service by performing your duties and giving them peace, Nganga.
Let's see what else just popped up. Let's see what this is. The Ikakaramban Highlands. Once a vibrant and populous land, the highlands have long been the home of the great village of Ikakaramba, home to the brave and innovative souls nestling in the lush hills and cliffs. Now the land lies empty, spirits roaming the expanse in an evergreen paradise now lost. Junie, just so you know, so this is a game that was it's made by a Black developer who wanted to make a game based around how he grieves for his father's passing. So that's what we decided to do on Juneteenth. Celebrate a Black developer with a game that has a Black protagonist. And I've been wanting to play this game. Yeah, it's like a little sad, but also like I feel like it's giving me a lot of Wakanda Black Panther vibes. So hopefully it's not too sad, because I don't know if I can deal with that. I don't need to be crying on my stream like Poppy Adley. Okay. Oh, hold R2 to interact. Ooh. It feels really good though. I like the power set. I love the colors. I like the designs. Wait, oh. That's the only thing. Oh, this was a dead end. Okay, perfect. Like games like this that that almost can be like super open like this can drive me nuts sometimes. Oh, there's some sort of oh. Can drive me nuts a little bit.
A sealed gate. No matter. There must be a key nearby.
Okay, so I need to find the gate. Yeah, see, I like the colors. I like the environments. Let's find the key. Who's gonna?
I will show
Yeah,
you the
son.
strength of the
You're about
sun.
to get your butt whooped. The mask of the sun grants ZAU brutal melee power. Press square 3 times to perform a light combo attack. Oh yeah, like that. Who else wants it? Oh yeah, this feels really good though. Oh. Boom, bitch.
A powerful mask, with no question a powerful history.
The mask of the sun. Baba showed me that to wield it is to harness a most ferocious love. The fiery flames of noble intentions.
Your Baba taught you well.
Not just a boy now, eh?
Only time will tell.
The sun. The moon. I must embrace the dance.
Press L1 to switch between the mask of the sun and the moon. I was literally just gonna ask if I get to do that. This is the dance of the shaman. Use the mask's unique combat styles to adapt to each situation. Ooh. Okay, we like that. Codex, okay. So all the new power was relearned. Okay, I'm definitely feeling this game. Let's find this key. Oh. Oh, R2, wait.
Eulogy. It is the spiritual property that resides in everyone and everything. Through your resonance as a shaman, it can accentuate your inner power. When the time is right, use this energy. Adapt it to your will. Through Eulogy, ZAU, you can become stronger and faster than ever.
Eulogy is a soul energy acquired from defeating enemies and breaking open Eulogy crystals. Gain Eulogy to earn shaman points. Shaman points can be spent to upgrade ZAU skills. Okay, we learned this. Oh. Wait, what am I doing? Okay, let me go see what this other space has. What are you? Are you shaman points? Okay. Okay, there's something over here.
There, the key. I cannot reach it.
Press X. Oh, I get to jump. Okay. Oh. I definitely pressed O. Hiya. Okay. Okay. Oh, oh. Okay. Do I take fall damage? No. Oh, should I have fallen down like that? Oh, maybe the thing is further down. Oh, okay. Oh shit. Oh. Oh, that was fun. Oh, there's an ad break right now. I'm gonna take a little break
Mask of the sun and the moon. Baba would say the sun and moon never oppose
right
one
after
another.
this
They
little
labor for the
discussion
same
because
purpose.
that did not pop up for me.
Never hold one over the other. It is a balance. Kama uhai na kifo.
Yeah. Let me take a little break. I'll be right back, guys. Wait, was that somebody? No. There's way too much like fucking plant dust. Plant cum, as some people like to call it. In this game. Because I just be thinking everything over here is a fucking person. Bitch. How dare you beat me on my own stream? Oh.
This is barely a workout.
That was fun. I wish it was some sort of meter that told me how. Oh. Fuck. This dude is literally saying, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And that's why I've been playing duos. And I'm over here getting spit roasted. I'm getting spit roasted because of you. The fuck? Get this out the right way with the sound that I need to go off right now. There we go. Let's go. Oh, is that somebody right there? Was that somebody? Was that somebody? Or was that a fucking fish? Is that somebody or was it a fucking fish? Okay, I think it was a fish. I think.
I could see the car, but there was no sight of the driver.
Let's take a moment. I need a fucking moment. Oh my god. This is why I only do like one episode per stream, because I can't. I am horrified right now. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. I always miss when an ad break is happening. Okay, sound is still working. Oh. Are you the key? What are you? Wait, let's see. And I think there's still something up top that I can go to. No. What do I need you for, box? How do I get back to where the key was? I don't even know what I just picked up either. Because the key is somewhere down. Okay. What just happened? Oh, wait. I need to push this to break the, to break that bridge. That's why it's so high. Boom. Okay, so it looks like I don't take fall damage. Oop.
Floating griot idol. Do you feel that too? That's energy.
I do. It is not a sense of apprehension or fear, only
inspiration. It is calming. I want to go closer, but I'm not sure.
Approach it, ZAU. Awaken its energy.
Ooh, what's about to happen?
The boy stood before a being he was familiar with, yet a stranger to.
What does that mean? Something up. I can't go up there. Oh, there's the lever. Can I use that? There we go.
Finally. Now to the gate.
Okay. Oops. Oh no, I think it was down here. Why am I walking so slow? Press L3 and R3 to perform a spirit attack. These powerful attacks cost 2 spirit segments. The Mask of the Moon Spirit attack is a lunar blast, a devastating energy beam that obliterates enemies in its path. Use L to control the beam. Okay. The Mask of the Sun Spirit attack is supernova. transforming ZAU into a towering inferno of shamanistic fire. I always love fire, so let's do that. Oh yeah. Oh shit. Shit. Oh snap, I'm getting my ass wet. Okay. Okay, I literally keep walking into that attack every single time. Let's just stay away from this guy and just attack the shit out of him. There we go. Oh, I didn't know he had that massive ass shield on him. Holy shit. Okay. What was that? Spirit attack, spiritual shields. Some enemies are protected by strong spiritual wall. Shield while shielded an enemy cannot be stunned or launched. Attack the enemy to shatter their spiritual shield. Spiritual shields regenerate after a short cooldown. It's good to know. Oh. Okay, there we go.
ZAU, I have seen enough. I will journey with you, shaman. This is the road to Ikakaramba, home to the great spirit of the sky. That is our first destination.
The sooner I bring you the Great Spirit, the sooner you return my Baba to me, yes?
This will not be easy, shaman. Those before you have tried and failed.
Then I will not. Come, we're making little progress standing around. Get to Ikakaramba, get to the Great Spirit.
Okay, ooh, trophy. New shaman point gained, okay. How do I get to where I need to go? Oh, skills. Perfect recharge, press square at the perfect time during a recharge and instantly refills out light charges and grants a temporary damage boost. Is that all I can get? Or I can get this? Perfect strike during a light attack combo, press square at the perfect time grants increased damage on the next strike. I'm gonna choose this one. I like the sun attacks a little bit more, but obviously the moon attacks are really good for good for ranged attack people. Okay, Xena, where's Xena? How dare they steal my freaking entrance sound? I can't get up there. Okay, that swirl. Patakatifu, the Great Cliffs, the Bulu Caverns. Okay, so there's stuff below.
The girl has a lilting voice. Give her a moment. Let her finish her melody.
I cannot wait. Hey, move please. Huh? I said move.
Oh, I knew it was gonna break. I knew what that was gonna be right away, and I still. Oop. I'm gonna be really bad at this. Holy shit, okay. Oh shit. No! Okay. Damn, you can't even touch those things. Wait, what is happening? Oh, is there still an enemy? Is that why? Did it break? No? Is there still another enemy I need to get rid of? Oh! Oh, snap.
ZAU? Every step, another obstacle, another obstruction. The gates, the spirits, the girl, now this stupid bridge.
Ooh.
I was not expecting
You sound like a
that.
baby.
What?
A shaman to be bested by a bridge.
It did not best me.
It did. You are careless. Since we began, you have been so focused on reclaiming what you feel is yours that you disregard yourself,
Ooh.
others, the very journey itself.
What?
Hashtag
That is not
truth.
true. I'm doing this for my Baba.
Recklessly charging with abandon, scaring a little girl, endangering her life and yours. You do this for your Baba? You wish to walk this path?
Ooh, listen to your
Do it with
elders.
respect.
That girl up by the bridge. She was calling to something in the sky. She may know of the great spirit we are seeking.
Perhaps. But first, you must find a way to the surface.
Oh shit, I almost fell right into that spike again. Oh, honey babushka, look how long she is. This map is reminding me of the last case. Oh, the last case of Benedict Fox. Oh, what is this?
I know this symbol. Greatness.
Greatness. Fools chase it, yet heroes are found by it. What is such a symbol doing here?
I once saw my Baba paint the same symbol. It must be a way of the shaman, a challenge of some sort.
Not every challenge needs a challenger. Let us continue our journey. We have much to do.
No, you do not understand. Beyond there is a power. I can feel it, one that only we can use.
Oh,
All I have
I'm about to
do
get my ass
is get through
whooped.
it. Prove my worthiness as a shaman.
The choice, as always, is yours. If you believe you can, then you must.
Look at the scenery,
But
it
be
looks so good.
cautious.
Oh, how do I get under both of them? Do I have to dash twice? Brr. How do I get under both? Not by that. I can't get under both. Hold on. Yeah, I can't dodge that fast. Can I go in here and immediately go down? Oh, there we go. Brr. Okay. Okay. That was a biatch. Oh shit. Oh. Fuck. Oh my god, I gotta start at that beginning. Okay. Ooh. Holy shit. Oh, R2? It'd be nice if I knew my left from my right. New trinket found, battering stance. Oops. Damage inflicted by slamming enemies into each other or the environment is increased. Perfect. The wall, the pit, the vicious partner, all the shaman saw was opportunity as he cast his power to the ground and bound for the creatures at the ledge's lip. Ooh.
I've seen this before. A shaman's trinket. See how delicate it is. Powerful too.
Yes, you are lucky, ZAU. This power in the wrong hands would be disastrous. Today, it has found a hopeful host. You are a shaman of Kenzera. Use this power how the others would have wanted. For good, for greatness.
Oops, that's not what I want. Okay, now we're back down here. And we're gonna go down this way. I'm gonna go this way to see what's in this little area first. Oh, another thing.
In those first weeks of the sickness, ZAU had never left his Baba's side.
Okay. Is that all that was there? Okay. I love how we're going deeper and deeper to find out where we need to go. Is this the way I need to go? Yes. Oh, I still got healed. Shit. Oh, fuck. I was too far away. Bitch. How dare you touch me? I think I actually know which one is my health.
Did you really think that a bridge would best me?
Yes, I did.
Shows how much faith you have in me.
Yes, it does.
ZAU has found a shaman trinket at an ancient relic of Kenzera that grants ZAU a powerful boon. Workbenches are used to equip shaman trinkets. Other shaman trinkets can be discovered throughout ZAU's journey. Let's use the workbench. Lifted spirit. Juggling enemies in combat increases the amount of spirit gained. The never sleeping spirits soared in the air as the shaman cackled, her weapons guiding their current, the energy trickling within. Okay, what does that mean? Oh, another trophy sign. So we gotta go up in this area. Oh. Hold on. Oh, we gotta go up past. How do I go up? Did I just die? Ah. Shit.
Tokoloshe, tricksters corrupted by their lingering circumstance. They have abandoned their jesting nature for spite. Do not underestimate them, ZAU.
Oh, that's me standing there. I thought it was something else. How? Find a way out. How do I get up there? Because this is making it seem like there's only one way that I can't go through here. Well, not that I can't go through here. Oh, there's something up there that I'm gonna have to fight in a second. How do I get up there though? I guess I'm gonna have to go. See, this is making it seem like if I keep going this way, I can't go up there. Okay, so it's not, oh, it's not a monster. Maybe I'm gonna have to come back. Ugh. So I can't go high enough to jump, wall jump this. Okay, I'm just gonna have to try to come back. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go this way first. Can I do anything with you? No. Okay, so I can't go this way. So I need a key or something. Oops, I almost killed myself. Let's get whatever that is. How do I get up there? Oh, okay. Okay, I need to find a way to get back there. Wait, this is showing that there's something up. Oops. Oops. Oh, no. How do I get up there? Okay, I guess I can't get back up. Fucking sucks. What is happening? What are you?
Yombos, pay them no caution. They do not seek to offend or harm. Truly, they are good people. Their only wish is to care. They rejuvenate and welcome others. They help. Come, take a moment. A traveler must rest to know the ground has shifted.
Oh, I can fast travel now. But where can I fast travel to? Can I just set marks? No. Can I fast travel to this? Okay. Oop. Okay. Okay, puzzles. Wanderer's Pass Shaman Shrine. Oh, see? Nope. Nope. This is too far away for me to... No. How do I get up there? Am I gonna get a triple jump? No. Oh, there we go. Oh, I was able to do it. Okay, got this.
Kunga? all shamans get shrines?
No. The actions of the Nganga dictate who does and who does not.
Okay. Boom. Bitch. Thought he was gonna get me this time. Butch. I thought you had me. Okay. Oh my god, my eyes are burning up, honey babushka. What is happening? Okay, there's something else down here. I want to hit something. Okay, what is this? My eyes are burning. Okay, this music is beautiful. I really like this game actually. Bamba's Stone. When wearing the moon mask, hold L2 and L to aim. Press R2 to launch Bamba's Stone, freezing enemies or moving water. A stone of Earth's creation, embraced in the loving warmth of the Father's moon, a throw that defied nature's law, a throw that saved a people. So L2 and L to aim.
I feel different.
Hadithia Bamba. The tale tells us his legend. Long ago, the villages surrounding Ikakaramba were at the mercy of raging floods. It was Bamba, a young shaman, who would quell the water's rage. Bamba took a small stone, imbued it with the power of the moon, and threw the stone from the highlands peak when the waters were at their angriest. The force of his throw was so great, so fast, that it solidified the waters. It allowed the people to leave safely and migrate away from danger. Now, this shaman shrine means to imbue you with your predecessor's power. Bamba's stone.
Rude.
What is funny?
Sorry, Amber Stone? Is that really the name?
These are the stories of your ancestors. He gave of himself, and the people here reveled in his sacrifices.
I mean, for throwing a stone. He got a shrine for that.
His experiences are embedded in the masks you carry. Use these
Kids
teachings
these
well.
days. Rude. Use Bamba Stone on rushing water to temporarily freeze it, allowing ZAU to run across water or jump off of water. Bamba Stone can also be used in combat to temporarily freeze enemies in place. Bamba, the raging flood, saw no merits in mercy or reprieve. Angry was the water, beholden to a cruel power that denied the yell, the cry, the prayer. Many tried to quell the water's rage. The proud warrior tried to strike it with his mighty rungu. The carpenter tried to build a great wall as though the water was an invader. The pious soul tried to appeal to the gods to see it done, all in vain. The water laughed and cackled in its own malicious ecstasy. The Highlanders lost their hope as their land succumbed to the ever-rising tide. Bamba looked on, his mask adorned. He knew his teachings. A shaman does not rush to fight like the warrior. A shaman does not seek to raise barriers without knowledge of the power beyond it. A shaman knows the will of the gods is bound to the actions of the mortal souls. The villages brought tears in the wind, and in that wind did Bamba set his course. He climbed the highest height, and the water climbed with him, biting at his feet, gargling at his legs. At the peak, they surrounded him. He looked to the moon for hope, and the moon shined back, a glimmer over a little innocuous stone. The shaman took it in his hand and raised it to the father moon, and with a roar, threw it to the water. The force of his throw was so great, so fast, that it solidified the waters, and the waters cackled no longer. A stone of Earth's creation, embraced in the loving warmth of the father's moon, a throw that defied nature's law, a throw that saved a people. Nice. What else do we have over here? Oops, not what I wanted. Codex. The Yumbos, mysteriously yet benevolent creatures. Yumbos hail from a world of ever-present joy. Their lives are dripped in the merriment, often dancing all night under the warm glow of the moonlight. The Yumbos have now found their way to Kenzera. To sit with the Yumbo is to find a calm respite from troubling times. See, now I know in the beginning it said that the characters were fictional, but I do wonder how much of this is based in some sort of historical, either historical fact or some like mythology that has been passed down through generations. Kalunga, the guardian of the border between the realm of the living and the dead, a deity of true power, laden in noble purpose, the god of death, choosing to manifest himself as an elderly man. Kalunga toes the line between warmth and bluntness. Perhaps he sees promise in the shaman ZAU. Perhaps he does not. One certainty, however, is his intrigue for the boy. Mama, the compassionate and powerful mother of Zuberi. Mama provides a direct approach to helping her son deal with the grief, bestowing Zuberi the story of ZAU. She hopes he can find an acceptance in himself, while having to come to terms with her own feelings of loss. Zuberi, the pained child, the reader of the story. Zuberi is a grieving son struggling to come to terms with an immense and sudden loss. It is through ZAU, the story his ailing Baba wrote in his last days, that he may find comfort, understanding, acceptance. ZAU, the young shaman of Amandla. ZAU is a boy stricken by grief. The loss of his Baba brings a heavy toll. Determined, ZAU sought out the aid of Kalunga, the god of death. His quest was simply said, yet no easy feat. To bring peace to three great spirits that had cheated death. In return, Kalunga would return his Baba to him. Rohoya Rungu. Ancestral spirit warriors, Rohoya Rungu, are displaced and trapped in the world of the living. This unnatural displacement has caused them to become highly aggressive and violent. These Rohoya Rungu became what they are through falling in brutal combat. Driven and poisoned by disrupted peace, their minds default to their training, the old tenets of fighting and hostility. Oops. No. Rohoya Chupaji. Known for their incredible aim, Rohoya Chupaji were respected within Kenzera for their ability to hunt. Formerly ceremonial throwers drafted into combat, these warriors were deadly in the field, dominating tribal warfare with careful strategy and accuracy. They could not yet find peace, stranded in the world of the living and driven to madness. So alien are these spirits to this world, now that they have warped and transformed, their legs burrowing deep in the ground like steadfast statues. Exactly, they're giving me Medusa vibes. Tokoloshe. These little brats. Tokalache are the warped and corrupted tricksters of life, reveling now in the chaos of their spirit form, addicted to trickery, pranks, and the acts of fools. Those that still lurk in Kenzera are ever-presently hostile. The otherwise harmless pranks have given way to malice, a joke gone too far, a jest taken to dangerous levels. Twisted by cruel witch doctors of the wild, they are now chaos incarnate, reformed with insidious intent. Okay, look at me getting through all those words. Okay. Let's see what this is. This is one of the echoes. The boy stood before a being he was familiar with, yet a stranger to. Staring to him, he felt the heat of a manifested form, somewhat tangible, somewhat real, yet the eyes told ZAU a different tale, a distance in the pupils, a coldness that clung. Meeting death is never an easy thing. The lives of this world danced to his melody, slept to his lullaby, lamented to his dirge. At least that is what they say, yet ZAU stood and greeted him in a world of perfect silence. No grandeur or ceremony, just death, a boy, and a haunting request. In those first weeks of the sickness, ZAU had never left his Baba's side, yet beyond their door, a different story unfolded. He would hear the cautioned orders of the warriors, ferrying the people onto the long roads away. He remembered now the cries of children as they left their homes and the louder sobs of the elders that knew they may never see their lands again. Those that did not flee succumbed to the growing darkness of the world, one then another, falling by a cruel grip of survival that none could sustain, that none could strengthen. It was the slow fall of time that brought the sickness to his home, to his Baba. The safety of the door mattered a little now. The pain and the hearth became as one. Let me change something real quick. No. Oops. Did not want to do that. What is this?
The boy stood before a being he was familiar
I didn't
with.
even have to read that. I could have just let the voice do it. Oh my god. Okay, these are more steps and more people. The U-boat campfires, wall jumping. Okay, so that's gonna stay there until I... Do I have any points? I have a point. Oh, I can buy this. Let's buy both of them.
That statue. It looks just like
Oh,
the
now
sun
you want to be
and
nice about
busts.
it? Wait, can I fast travel now? No. How am I supposed to get back? Oops. Okay. Am I just supposed to go back? I don't think I can get back. Oh, this... Oh shit. Okay, so there's obviously, I already knew that there was a time limit to it, but still. Where am I? Okay. Wait, was there something else I needed to do over here? No. Just get back to the... Let's get back to the campfire. Do I want to fast travel? Where can I even fast travel to? I'm not understanding where it would like me to fast travel to. Can I go to here? Did I get everything I needed in here? See, this says only one in this cavern. There was something over here I needed to get. Maybe I can get it now. Oh shit, okay. I don't think I got up here before. I think there's another echo up here. Okay.
The waters around the boy fell and cascaded onto themselves with a will of their own.
Okay. Can I go up higher in here? No. And I think there was something else over here. That I don't know if I can do anything with. Oh, scared the fucking shit out of me. Is this it? I got that. Hold on. Hold on. Oops, let me not do that. Oh my god, I literally cannot jump to save my life. Can I do something with you yet? No. Why can't I go into here yet? This is not telling me what I need to do. No? No. Okay, but how do I get to that space? Am I supposed to travel all the way back up here to get to this? Why? Also, why did this change? Oh, okay, wait. Oh, so there was 3 echoes here. And I've only gotten 1. I don't know what this symbol means. I just smacked the shit out of my mic. What is that? Can I do anything with... I mean, there's... I'm not showing that there's any way I could even go. Can I just dash through this? No. There's like nothing to even go up there. I'm not sure. Oh, maybe the fast travel is just a point so that when I get something, I can come back down here and get to this. Okay. I guess they're gonna try to go up. Oops. Oops. Not doing that. Okay. Okay. Oops. No! Oh my god. Bitch. Holy shit. Okay. There we go. Wait, can I go back? Is there? No, there's still something higher up there. Oh, see, I knew there was something else. Oops, that's not what I meant to do, sorry. I have to remember that that needs to get charged, so if I'm gonna use that, it needs to literally go into the other mask right away.
My Baba will have a shrine, as will I. When I bring him back, they will tell our tale, our Hadithi. I will show you.
Focus on the now, ZAU.
I am focusing. I know what to do. Return to the surface and seek out this Ikakarambangal.
It's not what I wanted. Oh no. Get off of that. Okay. Oh yeah. Oops. We gotta go back this way. Oops. Okay. Let's see, how do I get back up? Oh shit. Oh snap. Let's go. Oh no, shit. Didn't even see that there. Holy shit. Oops. Oh. Oh shit, okay. Nope. Okay. I literally can't get any higher. Ugh, damn it. Shit, I keep jumping the wrong way. Oh my god. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Shit. Oh my god, I just wasted that. Oh my god, I can't get any higher. Holy shit.
Over the broken bridge, ZAU.
I'm so mad I just wasted my ultimate. How do I get over there though? There we go. Holy shit, that was intense. And it's only gonna get worse. Okay, this game is definitely gonna make me come back and explore things.
It is surprising to see Anika Karamban. When the storms became violent, most had fled. Or worse. What is the girl doing out here all alone? Who is she calling to?
All questions for the girl to answer. Until then, you should be considering your apology to her. You frightened her, ZAU. You owe her one at the very least. The Basenji's sorry lick is mightier than its proud bite.
Do you? Because you've been
I
being
get it.
mad rude. Okay, I just noticed that I can double jump off of the wall, and that was probably why I wasn't getting anywhere the last time. Stupida. Did another one pop up? Hold on. Okay. Oh. Oh, no. Ooh, I like that this has environmental damage. Just don't do it to me. Drop that stone on him. Damn, I wanted to see that stone drop on him. Okay. Ooh. I almost got hit by that rock for being stupid. Okay. This is about to be a big fight. I'm trying to get away so I can heal. Okay, at least it's not that bad. Oh yeah. Okay, so those shield guys, the best thing is the moon attack. Okay. Love this game so far. Hold on, is there something down here? Yes. So you gotta explore every little crevice in these type of games. Every crevice. Get in there. Oh. Well, blah 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 blah. Oh. Bar. Oh, how do I get up there now? Wait, do I want to get up there? No, I want to go this way. No. Okay, I need to find a way up there. Oh, that was it. Oop, I almost fell off. Oop. Oh no, I went the right way. There, see, I almost missed this echo.
The ambush. Long had they been a myth to some, but ZAU knew them to be real.
Hey, something up here for me? Nope. Cannot go any higher. There we go. I don't know what the orange markers means. Should I go there for the next story? I think that's bringing me to a new map. Oh, this map is huge. But I feel like we want to go this way. Maybe we want to go up this way. Get this, come all the way up, back up and around, come down into this. That's what we're gonna do.
Such curious creatures. Young at heart, a touch naive perhaps, but they mean well.
I do like them. Nice to have some creatures out here that are not trying to maim me.
Okay. Oh, new thing. We love new things. Wait, can I even go this way? I can. Oh, too far, ho. Bye. Oh, I thought this was gonna be some great big thing. Those two images over there. I thought that was like we're gonna meet a big god or something. Oh, hello. It was aimed this way. Why am I falling back this way? Oh. Dare you touch me? Bitch. You touched the wrong person. Oh. Oh. That's another ad break actually, and I knew I was gonna miss it again. I'll be right back. Okay, last time I stood there playing chicken with the bot, and then I got killed from behind. So let's not do that this time. Bitch! How dare you beat me on my own stream? Nope. Okay. You here? Oh, you finally gonna let me in somewhere?
Thanks. What is this? Some kind of secret?
Ooh. This looks dangerous. Don't do that. Where did you go? Where did you go? Fuck. Oh. Oh, stupida! Watch out, it's preparing something. Come on, come on. ZAU, watch out. Oh my god, now he's crying. Let's do this. I'm not gonna have no metal pipe taking me out. Shoot. This, ooh. What's it called? That sound is like perfect for this game. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't see because of this tree. Oh. Now, if this was Resident Evil 4 and that first time you jump out the house, I'd be dead. I'd already be needing that green herb. Learn how to fight too, right? Naturally. You will spend your days training and studying, but most importantly, sewing. Sewing? Oh my god. Okay. I wish there was some sort of map or compass. Like, literally, I have no idea where I'm going. Did I get stuff from breaking up anything?
Switch me on and gently will light away.
To return it, simply go to Exol and speak this one's name, which is Extol. Cool. Oh. Well, I suppose we will be seeing each other for a while. Oh my god. That was crazy. Oh. Tell me there's no gun here? Give me the banana. We love a good banana. What's happening right now? We're just like waiting for a bigger monster to come out. Oh shit. What's happening? Can I? What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh my god. I am fucking hyped right now. It's ready up. You saw all that XP I got? That was killing them bitches. Look at that. Look at that. That was a good player too. Look at all those fucking medallions that bitch had. That means that they went through and they was killing all of the bosses all around the map. And I was like, no, because you didn't beat the big boss. You didn't beat the baddest boss, bitch. You did not do that shit. I did that shit. Okay? I literally said...
If I want some bullshit, I'll drive to your motherfucking window, queen. So don't come up here and place your order with me.
And we're back. Okay. Am I gonna be able to do this right now? Okay. Oh. Almost. Almost. Okay, she gonna be tricky. There we go. Okay, okay, we did it. We did it, babish. What is all this stuff? Is it? I think this stuff hurts me. So, and does. Okay, watch out for this purple shit. Always got something coming after me. Like I can't just live. Oh, she almost killed me. Oh. Oh yeah, you got it. You got it, bitch. Oh. Oh no. Oh shit. Bitch. The fuck? Touching me like that. That was very problematic. You touching me on Juneteenth, son? Okay, so we're first gonna go straight. Oh!
Strange contraption. This requires an
Oh, see?
energy that you do not yet possess.
I went all the way over here for nothing, but bitch. Okay. So I need to get a new energy to open up that door, and that door that's all the way at the bottom. Got it. We got it, Babishka. We got it. Okay. Okay, we did it, Babushka. One try, son. Oh, this is gonna be. Wait, this is about to be a fight. We about to be a fight right now. Oh, I'm just wasting that. Shit. Holy shit. Oh damn, they fly so far up. Bitch.
Gongamato spirits. When Baba went fishing, he would say if you did not feed them some of your
Boat
catch,
breakers.
it meant trouble. Boat breakers.
Oh,
Boat
that sounded like something else, honey babushka.
breakers.
Let's see what that actually says. Gongamato, it is said that all of the creatures who once roamed this world, the Gongamato resided the longest, an ancient creature of an older era. It was assumed that they had fallen extinct and the inevitability of changing times and the events of our history, yet many remained here, locked into our world as lingering spirits. Confused yet quick to adapt, the Gongamato have adopted a brutal agility and pose, trying to survive in a world they no longer belong in. Okay, so we get to just walk. Look at this beautiful scenery. Oh, that was weird. Oh. Oh, bitch. Oh, bitch. They are trying me. Okay, so before I go down here, I might be able to do something up here. So we can actually check that out first and then we can go down. But first... Okay, got it first try, babushka. Wanderers past Ikakaramba. Ikakaramba. Okay, I want to make sure I'm saying that right, not just putting extra words up in there. Oh, see, wait. So I could go down here, but let's see what else is here. It looks like something I can't do just yet. So we'll come back. I think I need other powers.
ZAU, I know you love your Baba very much.
I do.
But tell me of your mama. Who was she?
We should stay focused. Keep looking for the Ikakarambangal.
Okay, so we're gonna go down here. But there's a space here. Let's go up first. Yeah, there's our echo.
This was his duty, his purpose, to heal those wandering souls so malformed by their own devastation. The memories of the past echoed in ZAU's ears as he ventured through these ancient caverns. The elated laugh of a child as she splashed her mother. The sloshing of pots filled with the clean, tranquil water brought to a family to cook together, to be together. The waters around the boy fell and cascaded onto themselves with a will of their own. In a way, it was a reminder to ZAU to take comfort in the simple wonders of our world, to behold the humble incarnations of nature. He welcomed this reminder again and again, each step a longing dream of the distant tranquility. The Yambos. Long had they been a myth to some, but ZAU knew them to be real. From where they came, his Baba had said they brought plenty on the hot ever summer nights. The music was fierce as it echoed through their lands, the singing loud and dripped in merriment. These Yambos, these good people, they danced, turning and swaying with their shadows in the warm light of the fire. Until now, only the tall trees of their realm saw such joy. Now the hero saw them too, as warm as the kindest embrace.
Okay, and last one.
As happy as the softest lullaby. Spirit should never linger in our world. The clear line now blurred as the boundaries broke. The ancient laws of the universe altering under the machinations of pain, regret, and restless purpose. They were consumed by confusion, of a hardship words could not quantify. Phantasmal entities now plagued the once peaceful lands ZAU called home. The raw emotions were all around him, his resolve shaken. This was his duty, his purpose, to heal those wandering souls so malformed by their own devastation. It was not a cruel act. Baba had always been so clear on that. It was a passage, the shaman but a guide of the fallen. It had not occurred to ZAU how similar he and Kalunga were in that regard. Both had a duty, both had a burden.
Where am I going? Okay, so now I'm going back down. Ooh, I almost died, bitch. I am not good when it comes to these exercises. What is that? What art thou? Let's touch this. No. Okay, so I can't grab it. Oh, there's the girl.
ZAU, look. There she is.
Hey!
No.
For little legs, you run fast, eh? Listen, I wish to apologize.
Oh.
I should. Hey! No, wait! Wait! Why is she running?
Why did you say she had little legs?
Yeah, why did you say she had little legs? Oh. Ah! I should have just left it alone. Was that the second one? Bitch. I thought you was gonna have me. Okay.
We should be focusing on the Great Spirit.
Remember, ZAU, a clever fennec can catch 2 hares.
What?
The girl is bringing us closer to Ikakaramba.
Right.
Okay, so
Should
we're gonna
come up with these
explore
things
this
yourself.
little area first because I'm pretty sure there must be an echo over here. Oh. Oh yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. Oh! That almost took me out. You almost had me. You almost had me. Come on, little girl. Are you over here? Let's stop playing around now. I got shit to do. Where is she? Girl.
Look, I just want to say I am sorry.
Exactly.
No, wait!
No, she's annoying.
ZAU,
We just trying to talk. Oop. My eyeball is that itchy. I look really good today. I'm just saying. Like when kids are annoying, just say that they're annoying. Okay, we need to explore all of this before we go this way, I guess. Exactly. But okay, yeah, we definitely need to go up here because this is too long to jump. Oh. Oh. Oh, I gotta be careful of this purple stuff. What did you do? Oh. I am.
ZAU, you're sweating.
Do I need that block?
You are more than welcome to
I kind of feel like I need to drop it all the way down so that I have an extra point to jump off of. Oh, I think there's something up top too. Oh, there is something up there. There we go. I almost missed you.
The winged creatures locked in the sky, suspended in the air.
Okay,
Their piercing gaze
codex.
fixed upon the prize.
I want to try to listen to these right when they come out because otherwise you get stuck with a whole bunch and I don't want to do them all at the same time.
His movements still, his eyes focused. That was how Baba would tell it when he and ZAU would fish on a great lake in the middle of the world. The winged creatures locked in the sky, suspended in the air, their piercing gaze fixed upon the prize. Wide were the hands of Baba to show the quality of the catch, bigger and bigger still with each telling of the tale. A catch of great fortune, but the Kongomato must be paid. Baba was so clear on that, for to not gift the Kongomato was to suffer the wrath, to suffer the long swim back to the shore, or worse still. The waters are their domain. That is what he would proclaim, as the young boy sat and absorbed the majesty of his father, the great feeder of beasts.
Okay. Let's go this way, go down, this way, down. Keep pushing you. Okay. You're gonna keep trying to attack me? You're gonna keep trying to attack me. Bitch. Okay, I'm gonna stick with this one. That did not work the way I thought it was going to. How do I break that bottom part? How do I break you? Maybe I need to go back up and around now? Ooh. Okay, we get it. You're a rock. Oh, see, I knew exactly what I was talking about. Wait. I can't go back down now. We have to go back the way I came up. Okay, okay. Okay, okay.
Why is everything so dangerous?
The girl appears non-threatening.
So does a leopard from far away.
What?
I was trying to do one of your sayings.
I do not understand.
Fine, fine.
Wait. Did I come up in this way? How did I miss this workbench? Or is this from the other side of something? Okay, I haven't gotten any other trinkets. What else is this way? Why does this look like a big battle? Did I miss this? Oh shit. Is that it? I kind of want to fight a big boss. How? Wait. I just came over here. I didn't go anywhere over here. Oh wait, we gotta go back. We gotta go back, honey babushka. Because I'm actually supposed to be going the other way. Drop down, okay. So let's see what is over here. Oh, it's a challenge, a challenge. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I don't know how I was supposed to do that. Okay. Oh. How was I supposed to get past all that shit? The fuck? No. Oh my god, I'm literally trying to fucking dash or something up there and it's not letting me do shit. Holy shit. Now what did I just do? What was all that for? Oh, I almost literally did not even get the thing that I came up here for. The bullshittery. Okay. A little.
Impressed? A little.
Usually I'm really bad at these things. Okay. Okay, there's only one way we can really go. No? Okay. Okay, we're just gonna go straight forward. And I'm gonna stop looking at this fucking map. So I can't go any other way. Okay. I think we still need to do that so that we can actually fast travel to places. Like I can fast travel here if I wanted to. Okay. We're gonna keep going forward. Oh! Okay, okay, we get it. Ooh! Ooh! Dude, you almost had me. What am I doing? What is here that I need to get? Are you here, little girl? Oh.
Stop now. This is not funny. God.
Let's get whatever's down here, because there's something down here. Oop. Okay, here we go. I like that this is linear and not too open world, because I can't deal with that too much in these type of games. Now I can't remember. So we tried to open that, we couldn't open it, so now are we going, is this the same place we were in before? Oh. She definitely played herself with that. You playing yourself. Come on. You got this. Oh. Oh, there's something over there too that I almost missed, I guess. Let's go all the way across first. What is over here? Maybe I did come this way. Can't even tell anymore. Let's jump. Let's calm it down. I'm gonna go see what's in this area first. Can I break you? Yes. Look. Oh, fuck. Oh! Don't touch me like that. Let's heal. Oh. Oh, she a tricky little bitch. Bitch, she had me working for that. There has to be something up here. Oh.
A great baobab tree of Kenzera. Shamans would often rest in the hollow, meditating, considering life, death, and all between.
You are a shaman now, ZAU. Perhaps such an act would yield a benefit, to take a moment of respite, of reflection.
Maybe. Maybe.
Okay. Oh.
You are smiling.
My father would take me to the same baobab trees to meditate, and I would hate it. Every time we would go, he insisted it was good. When you are older, you will remember this, you know, or when I am gone, you'll remember how annoying you are at these moments. And you will feel sorry for me, and you will laugh. He was right.
Press X to stop reflecting. Okay. Okay, well that was nice. There we go. We love no fall damage. Oh, blah. Exactly. That's what should have happened the first time. Oh yeah, I did it! No damage! Okay, let's go. We're almost there. We almost got this girl. Oh, girl, that is a far ass jump. There we go. Girl, how is she just getting across this like this? Oh.
Please stop.
Oh. Did she just unlock a beast? Retaliating spirit. When ZAU is damaged by an enemy, he receives spirit. What is the one I have now? I think we should use that one because I think we're about to get into a boss battle.
A clever fennec can catch two hares.
The lift to Ikakaramba. Do you sense that?
Yes. The lift is incensed with spiritual energy. Also, a fleeing must have been
Oh,
trapped.
I'm about to get my ass whooped.
Make your preparations, shaman. This will not be easy.
Let's listen to this last one so I get rid of this X driving me nuts.
In those first weeks of the sickness, ZAU had never left his Baba's side. Yet, beyond their door, a different story unfolded. He would hear the cautioned orders of the warriors ferrying the people onto the long roads away. He remembered now the cries of children as they left their homes, and the louder sobs of the elders that knew they may never see their lands again. Those that did not flee succumbed to the growing darkness of the world. One, then another, then another. Falling by a cruel grip of survival that none could sustain, that none could strengthen. It was the slow fall of time that brought the sickness to his home, to his Baba. The safety of the door mattered little now. The pain and the hearth became as one.
Be ready, ZAU.
Shit. Nope. Oh shit. Holy crap. Oh. Jump! I can't jump. Oh my god, I need to change my mask. No! No! Did I just die? Shit. No. Okay. Shit. Okay, I'll get better at this at some point. Okay, we got this, we got this. What the fuck? No! Gosh, fucking darn it. Damn, I'm getting my ass whipped right away. Oh, fucking shit. What the fuck? Okay, okay. Okay. Yeah, they're not even letting me go. Shit. Oh shit. No! No! Oh my god, I can't even get away from them. They're like, they attack really fucking hard. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Oh. Shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. No! Oh my god, that last part is fucking hard. Dude. Oh shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my god. That was fucking intense as fuck. Oh my god. Nope. Is that it? No? Was I supposed to get something at the top here? Oh, imagine that made me do that shit over after I just did it. I would fucking kill somebody. Oof. That was intense.
Kalunga. These great spirits. Why did they deny you?
They all have their reasons.
So they said no to you and you just left them.
Denial is a path that winds without end. Yet the path to its destination, it cannot bend.
I do not understand.
In time, you will.
Okay, this long first map is extremely long. Okay, I need to be paying attention so that I don't miss another ad break. Oh! Shh. Oh no. Oh. Okay, I'm getting my ass whooped. Oh, did I get hit again? Shit. Oh my god. No! Oh shit. Okay. Shit. Come on, we got him. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh my god, I can't believe I got that on one try. Holy shit. Ah! Oh, now you want to talk to us, little girl. You trying it. Respect your elders.
Are you okay?
Me?
She was amazing.
But the way you took that Rojo out was amazing! So brave! That spirit went rah! And you went back, bing, boom! With the masks and dancing and jumping!
Well, you are safe now, so no need to be scared of it anymore. All me.
You? Who is scared of you? Oh, because
Nah, girl, you tried it. You tried it.
I thought we were playing a game.
A game. We leapt over pits of spikes, sweated over stone blocks, encountered boat breakers for a game?
Well, I am ZAU, shaman of Amandla, and I wish to apologize to you for running recklessly over the bridge. I was careless.
Oh, thank you. Thinking of it, that was a bit scary. My name is Liana.
Liana, I seek the great spirit of the sky.
You mean Impundulu?
Yes. Do you know her?
Yes. We would always play and laugh together. But then, things started changing. A storm grew and grew.
I love the
And
artwork.
Impundulu was not the same anymore.
Like, look at the light on her face, the colors in her hair.
She went to the sky.
It's beautiful.
The storms never stopped. Then everyone was gone. I stayed for Impundulu to make sure she was okay. But when I call her, she does not answer.
That was who you were calling to on the bridge.
Yes, I call and call and call, and never an answer. She only stays within the skies. If we can just play again, me and her, then it will be okay.
Liana, we need to stop these storms. For us to do so, we must get closer to the skies. Do you know how we can do that?
Closer? I do, but the storms are... Now that is scary. The only way to reach the skies is through the waterworks, the highest point of Ikakaramba. But it has been locked since the village was abandoned. And the keys are deep within the mines, so I do not know.
Hey, Liana, I know you are brave. I can see it. How about we go together? First to the mines.
Really? You will really help us, ZAU?
I will do my best.
Yes! Thank you! Maybe then Impundulu can play with me again. Thank you! I will see you by the entrance to the mines.
Oh, this is about to get really, really rough. Liana, the sole surviving Inca Karamban, Liana yearns for nothing more than to play with Impundulu again, the great spirit of the sky. Jovial and childlike, Liana is a mind beyond her years, determined to see Impundulu. She is ever warm to ZAU's bravery and resolve. Okay. Let's look at the mob. Wait, what's the codex giving me? Rojo Nagayo were some of the most valued foes in battle, able to turn the tides of war with just a few incredibly trained warriors. It was said that in life they were born with a shield in their arm, formidable in the vanguard. Their regimented mentality inspired years in their enemies. Many fell in the battles of history, and the spirit that remain continue to fight like there is no tomorrow. Okay, let's look at the map now. What is down here? Okay, so we're gonna continue going this way.
Remember, ZAU, Impundulu must
Okay.
be passed to the
Ooh.
realm of the dead.
Then you should have taken her when you had the chance.
Excuse
Look at that
me?
storm.
Never mind.
Is there
Okay, guys,
something on
I'm
your
gonna be
mind,
right back.
ZAU?
I'm gonna use the bathroom
Leanna is waiting for us.
and run some ads, so I will be right back. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't see because of this tree. Oh. Now, if this was Resident Evil 4 and that first time you jump out that house, I'd be dead. I'd already be needing that green herb. Ooh, sorry. Oh, now we bounce into each other. Oh! Oh, bitch. You saw how fucking long it was taking for me to reload? Like, damn. They wasn't even giving me a chance. I'm over here hopping around like a fucking bunny rabbit and this bitch is not reloading. Where did you go? Fuck. Oh. Oh, stupida! Oh, I didn't get the points for that though, because they weren't headshots. Oh my god, so I gotta shoot people in the head. Oh my god. Area secure. Okay. Oh my god, I'm doing something. I collected a sample. I don't know what that is. Well, that's another gun. Oh shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Why am I slowed? Why am I slowed? Let me go. Let me go. Let me run. Like, let me tell you, so I don't know why I just jumped at that moment. It just felt like the right time and I just really wasn't, because this literally has no strategy, honey babushka. Okay, get inside, get inside, get inside. Can I shoot it? Oh shit. My dog just scared the shit out of me. Because he's over here and he just like, he heard me jump and he's like, what are you doing? Oh my god. That was intense. I don't think I made it more intense by playing that music or that sound. This is our first match. We haven't had any matches yet. I have not died in utter embarrassment this whole time. Oh. Okay. Let's see what is down here. I feel like it's gonna just bring me there. Let's just jump in here. Oh, see? Oh, there's an echo over here. Get this echo.
Delicate yet determined she seemed, like the wading rivers that bestow the green and the bounty to us all. It was said that to bring the rain was to bring forth the fertility of the gods themselves. A dance of valued fortune, here possessed in the heart of this small girl. Liana, as the name was given, the blessings of the water imbued in the very content of her character. Delicate yet determined she seemed, like the wading rivers that bestow the green and the bounty to us all. ZAU saw within her a reflection of his younger days, of the adventurous soul that would spend an eternity embracing the quality of this world. He knew it in his heart. To help her was to help the world incarnate. For without the soul of the youth, this world would surely mean nothing.
Wait. I want to see what's in this corner, and I want to see what's in the two bottom corners. Okay. Oop. There we go. I was gonna get you. There we go. There has to be some. Is there something over here? Is this where I wanted to look? Yep. Okay. See, you gotta check everything. Now I wanna check what's up here. Gosh darn it. Hello. Wait, what? No. Okay, I don't think I can actually go up there. I think I have to go straight. Yes, I think I have to go straight. What is this? Is this just design? Okay. Maybe it's something for later. It's kind of weird that there would be such a weird design there. Okay, let's check what's up here, because there's definitely something up here. Oh. Okay, so I need to find this key.
Okay.
God, they really putting me through it right now.
Well, here we are. I present to you the great minds of Ikakaramba, where the water runs ever free. Or, well, it used to.
Then let us make it run free again. Where are the keys, Liana?
There are two. I was playing with my friend Tamina.
Exactly.
And We hid the keys
No,
all
it's
the
not
way
funny.
down at
It's
the
not.
bottom of the mine.
Why did you do that?
Tabia thought it would be funny. Mzee Jabari, the minekeeper, was always playing jokes. So, we wanted to get him back.
What did he think? I'm sure he found it funny.
The storm had hit the village. So,
Sorry, Liana.
there is a lift further into the mine. Take that, and it will bring you down to where the keys are.
Do I want to talk to her again?
Wait here then. I will not be long.
Why are you back here so soon? You want me to fight
Okay,
for you?
girl.
What do you expect someone like me to do? All the
Oh,
way
I like
down
that
there?
expression. That artwork looks amazing.
You have masks. The bang, bing, boom. You will do fine all
Okay.
by yourself. I will wait here. I wait. You go. Bye bye.
Why are there spikes right there? Okay, so I need to get 2 keys. Honey babushka, oh my god. So they had 1 key on each side of this? Oh, the bullshittery. Maybe, okay, let's try to get down maybe one side and we'll see what happens.
Kalunga. Earlier, when I said you should have taken Mbundulu when you had the chance, so much has happened. And I wonder whether things could have been prevented.
Rare is it to change what has happened, but we can always choose how we move forward from it. The actions we are taking now will restore balance.
Okay, supposedly this game is only supposed to take you 7.5 hours to beat. I've been playing for 3. I love the slide animation. It looks so good. Okay, so we want to go up here because I want to get up here first. And then we can just go back down this way. Oh, a workbench. Do I need that? Okay. Oh, this looks like it's gonna be a bitch. Oh. Wait. Oh no, how do I get over? Okay. Wait. Wait. Am I jumping too far away? Why is it not letting me attach? Gosh darn it. Come on. I have to be able to jump up there. Oops. Come on. Ah. That's really gonna bother me. Activate the waterworks. Okay, I'm just gonna suck it up and move on. I think that maybe later on, maybe I'll get a triple jump. That's what it's feeling like. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna explore this first before we go down here, hopefully. Oh, what is this? Okay, I can't open that yet. I guess I have to go down. Okay, which way do we want to go? I think maybe let's do the green side first. Okay, I have a pretty far way to go. I need to go backwards before I need to get to that point where I need to see what's up top. Okay, you almost had me. Oop, I didn't even need to do that, honey babushka. Okay. Oh. Bye, bitch. Oh, I love slapping them. Okay, yeah, we got this. Why are you saving? Am I about to die? No. Aww. Oops, wait. Did I need to do that? What did I just do? Oh. Act 1. We're only at Act 1. So, oh my god. Oh. Okay, so I need to get back up. Ooh. Wait, Can I go higher? No, I think I gotta get whatever's up top here through going this way. No. How do I... Oh. Oh, fuck. Oh, I clearly jumped over that. Oh. Boy, this tries to do any more shit to me. There we go. And now I must wait. Okay. Okay, we're almost to the bottom. Thought he was gonna have me just now, Hana Babushka. There we go. Am I gonna have to fight some big boss thing? Let's... just in case... love this for ourselves. What is up top? There we go. Okay, look at me being so... Oh! Ah.
Emotional
I have
damage.
to go back up. I think that I might just be able to double jump to it, so let's try that. Can I?
There, the first key. One more to go.
Do I have to go all the way back up that way? That's kind of crazy. Let's go, let's go, let's do it. Okay, let's do it, I guess. Bye. Oop. Oh, I fucked that up. Keep pressing the wrong button. Okay. That's kind of crazy that there's no faster way to get up. I can't. Why can't I get back up there? Fucking shit. That was fucking stupid. Am I gonna make it up? Oh. Oh my lord. Oh no. Okay. Holy shit. Okay. Come on. I'm really loving this game right now. Oh. I almost got clobbered by that for no reason. No reason at all. Okay, I'm almost there.
Just one key remaining. It must be on the other side of the mine. Liana really thinks that playing with Impundulu is going to solve this.
Denial can cloud one's
okay, so we need to
perception.
see what's up here. I think once we get the 2 keys, I'm probably gonna call it a day. Oh, I see. I would have got slammed by that. Okay, I want to go in there. Okay. She's gonna be a little bit of trouble. No! Okay. Holy shit. That it over here? Okay. That could have taken me out. Oh shit, it's 12 o'clock too? Okay. We got to get to moving. Oops. Oh. Oh my god, that almost chucked me out. Okay, I have to remember to stay away from them. They're like little. Oh. Now I gotta wait for this to fucking unfreeze. Come on. Okay. Oh shit. No. What the fuck? Come on. Oh shit. Oh yeah, ooh. What does that mean? I think I have skill points that I need to start using. Adapt deflection, press triangle to at the perfect time to deflect incoming hostile projections, okay? Increases the maximum amount of light charges to 12, okay. Light barrage, press and hold square to build up intense power, then release to unleash a brutal barrage of light charges. Okay. Adds an additional strike to ZAU's light attack. While airborne, hold L and triangle to smash into the ground, dealing damage and knocking back enemies. Oh my god, these are a lot of good things. Let's try this. Let's try to get one from each one. Let's try to add this. Okay. Oh. You almost had me, butch. No. Okay.
That is all of them. Let us return to the top.
Okay, let's go. Okay, once we return this key. Shit. Okay. Try to get back up top as fast as possible since we don't really have any place. Oh my lord. How dare you touch me? Hold on, because these things are gonna knock the shit out of me. Holy shit. Yeah. Oop. That almost took me out just now. Oh, dude. Okay, let's go. Oh. 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 You gotta be running through here. Okay. This. Oh. I gotta move around with it so they don't catch me. I don't remember what this is. Okay. Okay, we're there.
Liana will be all right. She will understand what needs to be done. Impundulu must be at peace. Liana does not understand this. How can she? She is a child.
Do you say this to convince her or yourself?
Now, where is she? I still need to get up here. I don't think I have what I need to touch that door yet. No, we're gonna keep going. Oh. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Well, I needed to do that otherwise. No. Oh. The way I almost fell into that because I thought that it was shorter. Okay, we did that. We did that. Wait. Oh my god, I just walked all the way over here for nothing. Wait. Did I? I don't think I can go up that way. Let's just keep going this way. That sound is kind of annoying. This sound. This is that annoying thing that I could not touch. Okay, we're almost there. Can I use this? No. Nope, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Come on. Oh, that was weird. Are we almost there? Come on. Can I interact with that? No. Okay. Okay.
I have both the keys, Liana.
R2.
Open up the water, ZAU.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
You did it, ZAU. The waters are free. I will raise you up there. I cannot wait.
Raise me up where? Ooh, girl. She is long. Okay, perfect. It just auto saved. Okay. Oh, thank you so much for anybody that came and hanged out. Taffy and Junie, I appreciate it. If you've been lurking, I appreciate it. If you're gonna watch a VOD later, I appreciate it. Thank you. Remember that it is Pride. Remember to be doing gay things at all times. It is hump day, so I'm glad I got to hump Twitch for a little bit. I need to go walk my dog right now. Yeah. So, yeah. I really kind of want to play this some more, but I need to get through. Oh my god, I started too many games at the same time. It's a problem. So we have Little Nightmares, Crisis Core, Ratchet and Clank, and this game. Lots of games, and we need to finish them. When is the next time I'm gonna be streaming? Tomorrow's Thursday. I might stream tomorrow. Who knows? I might stream right after I get out of work. A little baby stream. This was supposed to be a baby stream. And now we're almost 4 hours in. It was only probably gonna be 2 hours, but I'm really loving this game so far. I love the artwork. I like the story. I like the characters' names. Also, I know it might be boring to some people to have to like listen and read through all of that stuff, but I feel like on Juneteenth, when a Black developer creates a game that has all of this lore, we need to respect that. And so that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna respect it until we finish the game. I don't know how much longer this game is supposed to be. I'm really bad with the timing thing because it says that a game will be in a certain amount of time, but I think that I still need to recognize that I need to double it in stream hours because we're already almost 4 hours into the game. I think I took maybe 30 minutes at the beginning of stream, so we're like 3 hours into the game. I should be halfway through the game. We only seen one. We're only in Act 1. We still have 4 more acts. I mean, I'm also like looking through things, which it says like if you do search through everything, it's 10 hours, but I'm still going slow. Of course, someone would try to get me at the end of my stream, but they failed. Hello, Evil King. How are you doing today? Oh my god. Happy Juneteenth. Yeah, we're about to. Your alerts have a delay. Yeah, I don't know. It might be because my thing is not up. Usually I'll have the browser. Which alert was it? The jump scare one? Usually I have my browser open, but I don't have the browser open because I've been having so many issues. I mean, it doesn't matter either way. You weren't gonna scare me. It just wasn't that time. But I don't have my browser up. Usually I have the browser up. But I've been having so many issues with my stream and with OBS and stuff. I haven't had it up because I don't want it eating up space. Yes, I got a haircut. I had to get it today because I was off today. Off on call, and the barbershop I go to is only open from 9 to 6, which is the exact times I work. And they're not open on weekends, so I had to go get my haircut today. And try to be somewhat ready for Pride. Am I seeing you at TC? As of right now, I'm saying no. Because I need to get some of my stuff down. But also I don't know, like, I don't know how comfortable I feel going. Like, I know it's like a big opportunity to get some, like, mingle and get some things. So I need to see if that is like worth the investment. Yeah. I mean, I just don't know if I should be going when I only have so many followers. I don't know how fruitful it's going to be. I have kind of been looking at stuff, but I don't know yet. As of right now, it might be a no. Also, I have New York Comic Con like a month after that, so who knows. But I also got a raise at work, so hopefully maybe I can just pay some stuff down and just not be buying shits, which I've been being pretty good at. But I don't know, as of right now it's a no. It's not a hard no, but I don't know. I got to see how the next few weeks go. But I've been looking. But how was your day been? Did you stream today, right? Are you streaming right now? No. I feel like I did see you stream earlier. How was stream? How was the Dead by Daylighting? I just finished. Nice. Dead by Daylight. I feel like it's having a resurgence right now. It was a bit much. Why is that? Is it because of this? I've been seeing a lot, not people complaining, but I definitely saw somebody saying, oh, I saw this Vecna with these two, I guess, perks, and they were like, no. Is it the Vecna event or is it another event? Is Vecna even an event, or is it just a new killer? I think he's just a new killer, so I don't know what the event is. Also, I just realized the anniversary. Nice. I need to look at it. I have not looked. I don't even know what that means. But I also realized that the new season of Overwatch started today, and none of my friends asked me to play, which is surprising. They're still like, I think they're still Google Gaga over Final Fantasy 14, which I am failing at miserably right now. They're all playing the new expansion, and I think the second, third, fourth, I think it's like the 6th expansion, and I'm only on the second one. So yeah, I'm failing at that game. It's a lot. It's like a second job. But I'm ending stream right now. I'm exhausted. This was supposed to be a mini stream because I was just testing out some things. Yeah. And I'm tired. I still have more work to do. And I need to walk my puppy because my puppy is literally sitting on the side of me wondering what am I doing. But thank you for coming in, Evil King. I appreciate it. Believe me, everybody will know if I am going to TwitchCon or not. Yeah. I just gotta figure out if the if it's worth the money. So, I mean, it would also be nice to go to San Diego since I didn't get to go to San Diego Comic-Con this year because I could not get Friday, Saturday tickets and I wasn't going to go for just 2 days and spend all that money on a hotel. And I am feeling extreme FOMO right now for not being able to get to go. Like, extreme FOMO. Like, I could only imagine. Watch, like, Hall H be a really good Hall H from Marvel. And I'm just going to be like, damn, I wasn't there again. But who knows? Anyway, I don't know when we're gonna get back to this game. Again, we're trying to get through Little Nightmares, this, Ratchet and Clank, and what was the other game? Crisis Core. Which should all be short games. They should all be like under 10 hours, so they shouldn't be that long to play, but I definitely want to continue playing this game because I feel like I will lose the mechanics of it if I don't finish it. Little Nightmares doesn't really have mechanics, but it's been like a really long time since we played it, so maybe we'll do 2 different games in one stream. I mean, it's going to be a little weird going from this to Little Nightmares. Ratchet and Clank doesn't necessarily have crazy mechanics that I can't remember, but yeah. But we're gonna end stream now. I'm gonna try to stream tomorrow depending on how I feel. I'm surprised I even felt good enough to do this long of a stream after today. Yeah. Thanks for everybody stopping by. Thank you for anybody that lurked. That will watch the VOD later. Thank you for anybody that is supporting right now. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys soon. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your night. Bye, guys.